Front end, you can see I'm just basically at the moment playing with light positions to see where they are. That's the kind of halo style projector, H9 halogen at the moment. Centre of that light is exactly 500mm off the floor at the standard ride height, so there'll be no mucking around with the suspension to get it through IVA. You can drive it there literally as it's supposed to be. That's the minimum. Because the whole body technically has been raised up slightly, only by 25mm, but it's enough to, means I've got a lot more clearance for the wheels, and I can get 60mm of bump and not have to worry about wheels touching, especially on the rear, because the rear obviously I've got 28-inch rear tyres now, so I need the extra height to clear the wheel arches. Instead of flaring the wheel arch and make it look stupid, I just raise the whole body, which has meant that I can lower this light down from where it looks, where actually technically it's probably about the same height as the GTR. Put the high beam up here. Height's not an issue with SVA. On high beam, they don't really care where it is. It's the low beam, the one they really care about, and that's okay. Good thing being is there's a H9 bulb, there's a H9 conversion kit. We go here to a HID kit. So basically I turn my H9 standard bulb unit into HID. So H9 for IVA, then somebody wanted to put a HID kit in later, which technically isn't allowed, but what the hell, there you go. And they're not that overly expensive, about $300, and you got yourself a pair. Light arrangement, still playing with it, not quite sure we're going to do like an angel light arrangement around there, that's one possibility. Second possibility is side lights would be a row of LEDs around here, maybe down around there, and then having indicators, LEDs across the top. There'll be a third light in here. Third light will be about a 50mm unit. It'll just sit down the bottom there. It just kind of looks not quite right without having a third light. It's basically having the three lights in there. It's hard to show you normally, but three lights in there like that, and it looks better. Probably be a fog light for all intensives. You can use a driving light if you want, but there are various. There's even a HID fog, but what's this? What does we want to spend for the moment? Just a standard fog lamp, it's like $120 a piece. It's not a problem. That'll be for lights there. The lights themselves effectively still stuck up slightly, so I won't have a perfectly flat outer body. There will actually be a little bit of a ripple and a plastic headlight cover. Centre section here I'm still not happy with. I kind of tried to V the bonnet, I just didn't like the idea of it. Which you can still like the idea of having two exit points, but I might resculpt these a little bit further and drift them further back, but we don't know as of yet. Front clip area here, there's two possibilities. One, we can have the standard kind of NASCAR-esque splitter supports, which is one option. Second option is to bring where this is the pillar support at the moment for the rose joint, which sits just up inside here. I can contour a panel that'll sit and sort of be sort of semi-symmetrical, or at least sympathetic to that, so it'll come down and reflect to that. Then it'll bring that support basically out to the front here and make that a contour panel up to it, but it will then support the splitter up to that bar. So we'll have a link which stops the splitter from, I'm trying to mend it there, but basically, that's just me. About 150 kilos of downforce on the front, then it makes a big difference. That's the front. Oh yeah, I've been debating over these, and basically at the moment it's very sharp here. And looking at a lot of cars, and I can see, again, back to the release angle for moulds, the mould would have to have a weird piece, so we're going to actually end up with a rounded piece here. It'll go in, so instead of being just a sharp edge there, it'll actually the angle will be kind of more like this in here, and this will have to go in further, so I'll basically cut that there and there and push it in further, so I'll have more of a hole. 360s, Koenigseggs, all they have something, but they're basically radiator exits, which we don't need. But that's thinking on that. Also along this edge, you see a lot of touring cars that have them, and I kind of like the idea of it, whereas it just comes down to the edge and flush round. To gain a bit more air pressure into there, they cut this section out basically along here, and you can just about see a faint line there at the moment. And then move that wall there, then move it back for about an inch and a half, and it kind of creates a square pocket, and that square pocket comes out there and eventually blends around to nothing so that it blends out to here again. But it traps more air in there, and more air trapped in there means more pressure on the splitter. So I like the feature as well. It kind of looks a bit, I don't know, kind of looks a bit chunky at the moment, you know. So I can narrow that slightly, it doesn't look so full. That's what I think on the front.